Good morning, everyone. Before he's going to get skittish, he's still got all his little kitty curiosity run. This is Bobby, or American Bob, the vet. He's about 10 months old. She calls him like a tuxedo tabby, orange tabby, because of his. See, he's got his white shirt here and his orange tabby. His right leg, he's got like a boot on the right front and shoes on all the others. But I'm going to let him go. We're going to go outside in a minute. But he's very eager to go. Okay, I just wanted to introduce Bobby. He's my little man right now. I wanted to say condolences to the family of Steve Cash, and he's a very popular YouTuber. And I've noticed that kitty and dog videos and a lot of other pet videos too are very popular. I noticed cat videos and rescue videos for dogs and cats that just have a huge viewership. But Steve Cash was, I was under the impression he's from the Midwest, but I believe apparently he lived in Idaho, so up here in the Pacific Northwest where my family lives. But Steve has passed away. He's only 40. And I saw a couple of his videos where people would say, "Hey, we haven't seen you around much, and you were putting a lot of videos for a while, and we didn't see you much. We just check and see you're all right." And he admitted to going through depression and that actually he was diagnosed as bipolar, or what they used to call manic depressive. Um, and I guess he fell on some hard times, and he died. You guys that are fans of his see that he died of apparent suicide. Um, I know I had a young friend when I was about 20. He was only 16. He passed away in that same manner. That's something I went through. But Steve just seemed to be just such a kind-hearted and not afraid to be sensitive and so kind and open that he touched me in that way, make me able to be that and be open. And it was about 10, 12 years ago, I really, my dad started to really, as he got older, he picked on cats a little bit when he was young, not real bad, but I think it stemmed from his problems growing up in a big family and they were poor and I had to go to jail for not going to school and things that were really ridiculous at the time. But as he got older, he really, I think, wanted to make up for that, and his heart just changed in a lot of areas. But that specifically changed, so I kind of started to get it from him. But I always loved our pets, and our dog kind of became my dog. We had a dingo or an Australian Shepherd or Blue Heeler. You can call them by any of those. We got when she was only about 6 weeks old, and I was 6 years old, and she lived to be about 17 and a half. And my sister had her dog, and we had a lot of kitties along the way. But so I always was kind of an animal person, but I kind of got it from my dad about always keeping a real special companion, and it's kind of went towards cats. Um, in the right living situation, I always wanted to have another dog, but I want to have the right living situation where they have room at a house or even kind of a farm or ranch and raise them from birth because they seem like they can really take up bad behaviors if they're not raised right away. So different factors, and I really kept a cat as a companion. And there's some hard things I went through not too long ago. I don't really want to talk too much about just yet, but I wanted to introduce you to Bobby and some things I went through. And then I got a kitty just from Paws, the um, Humane Society in our area. That was, and this is him. He's not very big and was a tabby. He was only about letting him go for just $25. You know, once they're 10 years or older, the shots and everything they had to pay for, you got to pay a little something. But it turns out maybe he was that old. He had some problems with his kidneys and stuff. And he was only with me about a year, but he was a special little man. He had extra toes on all of his feet except for one in front, which is very rare, I guess. Cats have extra toes, but they'll have it on one or maybe on both in the back. It's a rare breed that can have them on all toes. And he had a problem with one of those where it kind of the nail grew and would kind of turn into his paw. So when they picked him up, it was all raw and everything. And the lady explained opening it, and the smell was just awful, and felt so bad for him. But he kind of had a complex or a way about him you couldn't put words to. Um, he was just little man. You know, he had kind of little man syndrome. He would ride on my shoulder up here. It was really cool. But you know, those are some of my things, and I'll tell more. I got a lot. I can talk about that at some point. But I've always keeping a kitty as my tight little buddy nowadays. Um, but you know, seeing Steve's videos and how popular cat videos are on YouTube, just in about the last year, year and a half, getting familiar with Steve and his talking kitty cat and the format and the way he does that is just really, really cool. And there's some other people that picked up on it and wanted to do those. And I would really like to get better at that. And I'm just slowly catching on to how YouTube is done and so forth. Um, and just letting it help me therapeutically and things as I get my life straightened out. And so just taking my time and if I gain a few viewers outside of just family and friends, it's more important to me to maintain dignity and interact with them if I get 50 or 100, even in a quality way than the quantity, you know. So that's what I'm working on and just taking my time. But Steve, you know, not knowing him personally and everything, I just saw a real gentle spirit and able to open and be sensitive. And it just hurts to know that he had those issues. And his wife put out a little tweet saying that Steve's not hurting anymore, you know, and she's sorry to have to report it and stuff, but he's not hurting anymore. And he has enough fame, you know, just on YouTube. I had about 2.5 million subscribers. There's videos of his more popular ones that have 7, 8 million views, I guess. So well known and famous enough that she said, you know, please give the family time. You know, you'll hear celebrities say that sort of thing. Um, Gosh, you just seem like such a gentle soul. That's the main thing. And you know, I decided to get an orange tabby when I saw I took a little break in between. You know, I lost a pet, and then I got Polly, and he was older. I brought him in, and I just wanted to give him dignity for the last years of his life, and he ended up already being ill with his kidneys when I got him, and that was tough. So I gave a little space in between. So I was pondering which pet to get, and I saw the movie a street cat named Bob, so I want to send a little shout out to that. That it's a great movie for pet lovers, especially people that keep a pet as emotional support or as a service animal and have that close of a tie with their pet. Um, this guy was like in his late teens and 20s in England, and his parents were divorced, and his dad's new wife didn't really want him around. And he's kind of on the streets in London, and he ended up, um, on opiates and ended up going to a methadone program over there. And he gave his last stipend for food for the week to an orange tabby cat he saw around his building that was injured in a fight, a male orange tabby, and took it to the vet, and they said to bring him home for a while and feed him this and that and give him an antibiotic, and in a week or 10 days he'd heal. He did all those things and got kind of attached, but then the cat didn't want to go, and he put him down. He gets on the bus, but the cat rushed and got on the bus with him, and he's telling these ladies that it's not his cat, and they're like, uh, he says, well, he doesn't have an owner, and they're saying, well, it looks like he's got an owner to me, and Bob just took to him right away, and this guy credits getting off of methadone, and he ended up writing a book. And then he went on book tours around to the libraries. My sister works at the library, so I'm familiar. A lot of authors do this and go do their signings and meet and greets. And it ended up being a very, very popular little tour. Even though it's his first book, only book that I know of, it was just a little very wholesome and appropriate for young people, very popular book and book signing tour and so forth. And so he ended up having a chance to make this movie. And so it's actually Bob the cat in the movie. And the owner, I forget his name, I apologize, but was there to help Bob to be able to work with the actor and, to lend his services to the film. And some of the DVDs have special features, and there's a clip where he's at a little sit outside type of restaurant in London, and the lady comes and serves him and serves the interviewer, and Bob's up on a real high stool sitting there, and she serves Bob just like a customer and a couple uh, people on the street that also, he used to, they call it a busker or busking over there, playing a guitar or other instruments and put your hat down to have change and dollar bills thrown in there and so forth, to take care of his habit and his food for the week or a motel. And so these buskers come up and they know him and know his story and meet him and say hi and pet Bob, and he gets service just like a customer at the restaurant. And the guy says, I never thought that Bob would buy me a house in South London, so the relationship with Bob did these wonders for him, and they go through some trials in the movie. And one, a dog is harassing him, an owner, while they're playing music, because Bob ended up going with him and stuff, and he takes off. He's gone for several days or a week. The guy gets arrested overnight and misses his methadone the next day, and Bob being gone, he just can't handle it. And but then when he wakes up after quite a few nights, and Bob's just sitting in the windowsill there. He left the window open. Bob just made his way back, but his relationship with Bob was one where he couldn't handle him not being there and not knowing. And Bob ended up buying him a house in South London, like he said, and getting him clean, and the wonders of what a relationship with an animal can do. And so that's a big part of what I wanted to say. And so I'm sure also that Steve Cash's four-legged friends, his family knows what they meant to him, and I'm sure they'll keep them in honor of. But to see someone so kind and gentle, and to know that they had that kind of pain, and he's not hurting anymore. God bless him, in heaven. Lord bless him and his family in a time like this. Um, okay, I appreciate anyone that catches this and listens, and I'll talk more when I'm ready about my relationship with my own pets and so forth, I suppose. I focus on the wrestling and always been a true crime follower. I notice a lot of the shows nowadays, for my taste, they've gone really sensationalized. I liked years ago New Detectives, FBI Files, and even way back in the 90s, some special features on Court TV that were actual hour-long programs, very down to earth and very like done with dignity, and that's what I liked. A lot of the shows are getting away from that, which I don't like, but that's how I try to approach them. But I also just add, want to just while I'm just doing this channel and learning, and it's just me under my name, things that are just good for human interest. So, all right, I mean, everybody have a great day.